Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Frame Your Game in Paradise. Today we're standing on beautiful number 18 at Paradise Canyon, and today James and I are going to demonstrate some key tips on how to make some better putts for success on the golf course. So today I want to show the viewers on what's the deal with putting. Like, give me some examples of what makes it hard for you to putt on the golf course.
The biggest concern for me is when I come up with the green, I can't read the proper turn or lies per se, and speed. I'm terrible at judging speed.
Yep.
I need a lot of help with that.
I make it kind of simple to start. What I like most students to do when I get in front of them or get a chance, I always like to start with one tee in the middle, and then I'm just going to use my thumb and pinky and extend that down. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side for the stroke. And then not only am I going to make a gate drill to make sure that my swing path comes through cleanly, I'm going to put another tee on the back of that heel.
Okay.
And give yourself some room for now. Right now this is a pretty wide gate, so we shouldn't smash any of the tees.
Okay.
If you get really good at this, we can get a little bit closer and really make sure that stroke's coming through square. But for now, we're just gonna make this simple today. What we're gonna do, and you could jump in here real quick there, James. So we're gonna set a ball right in the middle. So the back tee is gonna represent your backswing. The forward tee represents your follow through. And again, we've got the gate drill to make sure the putter head comes through square. Okay. So within this drill, I want the stroke to be the same on a consistent basis. I don't want the stroke to all of a sudden have a long backswing and a short follow through, or vice versa. You have a short swing and then a jab stroke going forward. Okay. We're never gonna get the ball to roll on a consistent kind of top over line to the hole, right?
Okay,
so
good.
We wanna make sure that the face is square and we wanna make sure your stroke is the same. So let's hit a couple putts here and let's just see what happens. All right, so pretty good right there, right? So what did you feel within this drill? Like, what was your main focus?
Now that you have the tees in the ground, I know how far I can bring the putter back and how far it should go through.
Yeah.
It makes it for a very good tempo,
right,
which I love. Yes.
So if you took the putter head, let's go in there one more time. If you took the putter and you took a really long swing, what do you have to do then to now try to control it? So let's take a long swing and try to hit it in the hole still. Yeah. So
I decelerate, I guess, because I'm nervous that I'm going to generate too much speed.
For sure, right? So that backstroke got almost back here and your follow through stopped almost right there. So we weren't even close to the forward tee. Let's talk a little bit about ball position. So while we're in the grid here, what are you trying to do with ball position? What's the importance of making sure that's set up each time?
Well, for me, for every swing, I like to keep the ball in my center sternum.
Okay.
I don't know if it should be forward or back. For me, this just seems natural.
Sure. Yeah, so right now I'm seeing the ball position sitting right in the middle. So as that stands right now, we want to make sure that we never hit down on a putt. So in my opinion, what I've seen with more success of putting, I've seen the ball position slightly forward. So we want that putter head to kind of naturally swing. Okay. You know, we want to still swing through the ball, but we never want to come down with a steep angle on the ball or you're going to get some skid. And that first few feet of that putt is going to skid, and we don't know for sure if that's going to stay on line. Okay. So in a perfect world, if we could get that ball position closer to the left heel, somewhere where you would typically play a driver. So you're going to feel like that's kind of more off the left side of your left chest there.
Right.
Okay. Now the importance of this, once we move ball position, is we have to make sure, if you take a look at this for a sec, we have to make sure that that face isn't adding any loft already to the golf club. We want to make sure it's still standard loft. So what we have to do then is we have to change your hand position at setup. So where do you think we need to get that hand position to kind of replicate or match what we've just changed in that ball position?
I think you want my hands forward.
So hands forward, absolutely. People can pick and choose what feels comfortable at this point, but the shaft lean cannot be behind the ball. That shaft lean has to be slightly forward. So what we're doing with James right now is that shaft is slightly ahead of the ball, which is making sure that that standard loft on that putter remains the same. So now that the ball position's forward, we've adjusted the shaft position. The last key part, what people don't do, is what? And it can be anything.
Ensure that you have non-contact from the ground, the surface.
Absolutely.
You want to lift the club.
So one of the things I find a lot of times is once we've got all this set up correctly, I feel like the putter, the weight of the body sometimes unintentionally leans on the putter head. So when you want to pull the trigger, the takeaway isn't as clean and it kind of jabs back.
Stutters.
Yeah, so the thing I see all the time or most times, is when it's laying on that ground, as you get that surface kind of friction from the putter head in the grass, the putter head moves.
Right.
It could open, it could close. Well, now we're trying to adjust back through the golf ball again. So we've got a newer ball position up in the front. We've got the shaft lean to replicate that ball position. And then right before you pull the trigger, we want to hover that putter a little bit so your shoulders can gently turn back and through without any friction. Beautiful, right? That's a pretty good roll. So now you're gonna say, well, I just hit that short. Well, that's okay, because this is a drill and we're trying to get the ball to roll a lot more true and a lot more consistent. So we can work on tempo and speed now within this grid. Okay. So again, this grid is good from about 8 to 12 feet to get a really good feel of tempo. What I like about the grid is you don't need to change a lot of your backswing and follow through to hit different speeds.
Question.
Yes.
I know if I'm only going back this far, how do I feel or know that it's going to generate the power?
If we're going a triangle here for a second, right? We've got our two shoulders, our two hands make a triangle. If we're just rotating the triangle back and forth, we're not relying on hands trying to make the contact happen or the speed happen. It's the rhythm that your shoulders turn back and turn through. So within this grid, I could have 3 different types of speeds, right? So if we got 8 to 10 feet here, there's a specific speed of your shoulder rhythm. Let's say the pin is moved another 5 feet, so you got about 16 feet, but we're keeping the same grid. Your rhythm of your shoulders is going to increase. Okay, good. Okay, so the goal is to never have your swing length dictate how far you need to hit a putt, because what happens? We end up decelling if we think we've taken too big of a swing, right? And there's your inconsistencies, which moves into my next point on how to read the green. So we know now after hitting a few putts that this bends a little bit left. So if I'm looking at this putt right now, and we just got here brand new, how do you read a green?
I'm just looking at where my ball is landed and where the cup is, the pin, excuse me.
Yep.
And if I have it uphill, and I try and read left or right, but I'm not very good at it. But that's basically what I would do.
So what I always try to say is start prepping. So if our carts are over there and you're on the green and you know the pin, start looking at your surroundings. Okay, so right now we're in an awesome location. There's a hill way above, we're in a canyon, so we know that's the highest point over there, and we know the river's over there. So the trend as I'm walking onto this green, now I've had the liberty of playing here my whole life, so this is pretty clockwork for me, but for someone new, you should be looking at the highest point to the lowest point, figure that out first, then within the green, start looking to see where the hills and the bumps and the moves are gonna be, but you're gonna get a pretty good idea where the trend of the green is gonna run to. That gives us our trend, so we know now if we're standing here closer to the river and the hills up there, we know this is uphill right away.
Yes.
Okay, so we know we gotta give it a little bit more tempo, a little bit more gas, which helps us pick the correct line to hopefully make that. All right, so walk me through what you're doing.
Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm trying to eye from the ball to the hole. Now that you've mentioned, I know it's uphill, and I'm trying to look for an entry point.
Perfect. So would you say right now this ball should enter kind of about 5 o'clock?
Yes. Sir.
Right? If straight on is 6 and 12 like a clock, we know where this bends, it's going to come in at about 4 or 5. That's the center of the hole where it's actually going to enter, right?
So then, okay, take my stance. I know the shaft has to be leaned forward. It's elevated. And I make a proper stroke.
Pretty darn good. So that entered at about 3:30, 4 o'clock. That's the center of the hole.
Okay, good.
How's that, James? Do you think that's going to give you some better ideas and some help?
I very much appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, James. Thank you, sir. Better golfing, buddy.
Well done, buddy.
Thanks for watching episode 3 of Frame Your Game in Paradise. I hope James and I helped you out today. I hope you have some more success on the golf course and some better stories. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.